Hello. Let me see if I'm live. Some hiccup just now. Some system issue where I couldn't really get my deck ready on time. So how's your weekend so far? Hey, am I live? Not seeing my live yet. Okay. How's your weekend so far? Right, I'm seeing myself live right now. Okay, so here's another Sunday, and what we do here is let me bring this up. All right, let me bring this up, and welcome back to Ask Jason Anything, and this is happening on YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook wise, there are several places that we actually go live, whether it's on my Facebook page or my Facebook group, and yeah, so those are the places where I go live. So what we do here is actually very simple. Okay, we go live. I go live every Sunday night to spend time with you guys for half an hour, basically to answer questions you have about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So here's how it works. All right, if you have any questions at all right, I would recommend that you go to my YouTube channel. First thing first, go to my YouTube channel. Of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Who wouldn't, right? So yeah. And then if you have any questions at all, try to search for an answer on my channel, because I've actually posted close to 900 videos on my YouTube channel. Chances are chances are I probably have answered the question or something similar before. So if you still can't find any answer to that, don't worry. All you need to do is you can actually post your question as a comment. Okay, post your questions as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. I recommend that you do it on my YouTube channel because it's a lot easier for me to capture the questions. But of course, if you feel more comfortable joining me live like this, and basically to ask me live like this, I'm more than happy to have you over here. Okay, now basically we have Robel here. What's up? What's up? All right, and we have Patrick here. Okay, Patrick, hold on to this question. I'll come back to this once I've finished answering all the questions that I've gathered over here, and I'll come back to this. But guys, I'll be more than happy to have you join me to ask your questions live, because in my opinion, the main reason I do not answer to your questions via comment on my YouTube channel and anywhere else is because I find it ineffective. Why? Because when it comes to technical stuff like Facebook advertising and digital marketing, it's kind of difficult, to convey the message via written messages, and I don't like the back and forth exchange and all that. So I rather just answer your questions like this, and I'll probably give you some examples or your case studies if they are, and that's basically how we can work together over here. All right, so I've got a few questions lined up over here, and I'm just gonna go through one by one, right? So this is how it works, right? I capture your questions wherever you posted it. If I miss any of them, let's come back to me and say that, hey, Jason, you missed my question, and I'll do my best to cover that for you, right? So, okay, the first question I have here is coming from Zishan. Okay, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Now, Zishan is asking, how can likely I target for blanket hoodies on Facebook? Okay, so how can you likely to target for blanket hoodies? I mean, help me understand this. I think you're referring to how do you target people who are interested in blanket hoodies on Facebook? Is that correct? Now, this is exactly a very commonly asked questions that I receive a lot all the time, which is, Jason, how do I find the best target audience for my product? Now, I've actually talked about this briefly in some of my posts previously in the last 1 week or so. Audience targeting is just one of the elements that makes a good Facebook ads campaign. Remember, okay, what makes a good Facebook ads campaign? It has to be able to send the right message to the right people and get them to take the right action. Okay, so the right message being the content, and the right people meaning being the target audience that you're targeting, and the right action being the objective that you're selecting. So these three things works hand in hand, and there is no one element that is more important or more superior than another one. Like, for example, no matter how much you drill down to the audience that you're trying to target, okay, if you actually use the wrong objective, meaning like, let's say if you are trying to get people to go to your website and buy, but you start with a engagement objective, it's going to fall apart. Okay, and then if you get everything right, but you send the wrong message, which means like, for example, one of the, like copywriting or messaging or creative direction that I dislike is, something that is clickbaity. Now, a lot of people will say that clickbaity means I get the people to click, I hook them first, then I actually, but you have no idea how often I see an advertisement that attracts the wrong people. Okay, so that's a very important thing that you have to avoid. So these three things works together. So when it comes to audience targeting, in my opinion, it's really about getting the three elements right. And when it comes to audience targeting, in my opinion, you know who are the people that you want to target. Like, for example, right, let's go by the basic, like the age group of people who are buying. Let's say hoodies, you could be selling to the elders, right? And of course, you're targeting to the younger crowd. And what are the genders and where do they stay? And what are the products that are likely to be interested in? So you have all the answers, but what people are actually looking for is, hey, what's the, like the holy grail combination that can work? I mean, no marketers can tell you that, frankly speaking. So I would say, let's get these three elements right and start running and use the numbers that we gather to help us make further decisions down the road. I think that's a better approach to do that. And of course, all these things can be improvised along the way. But remember, the three main pillars work hand in hand. And you shouldn't be focusing one thing over another. It's about paying attention to these three and progressively move the campaign forward as a progressive framework. And it's like a collective things that work together. It's like a puzzle that works together. It doesn't really like the audience, works more superior or way more important than others. No. So yeah, so this is the right mindset that I actually would like to share with you, and hopefully it gives you some idea about how to go about this thing. Okay, but nonetheless, if you have any questions, right, Zihan, you can actually scan this QR code and buy me a coffee, and we can spend half an hour to troubleshoot, your campaign. It's about looking at your campaign right now and see what's working or what's not working. And of course, along the way, you have any questions. You see, these kind of questions, it works better when we are actually spending time together via Zoom and we look at your campaign right now, and I probably will give you recommendations about how to actually fine tune and tweak certain things from there. So scan this QR code, buy me a coffee, and we can spend time together. All right, Zihan, thanks for the question. Now, the next question I have here is coming from Ken. So Ken is asking, your account was banned and is still running ads and you have no access. Okay, are you being charged for that? The answer is yes. Okay, I've seen two cases in the past 2 weeks. People who actually have their ad account or so-called disabled or personal account disabled, they came to me and say that, hey, Jason, this is not right. That's why my rule of thumb is always very simple. When you want to run ads on Facebook, make sure you go to a business manager, and make sure in your business manager you have alternative admins. So for your situation, right, your personal account got banned, but your ad account was not banned. So you can't access to your ad account, but the moment you can't access to your Facebook, you can't actually look at the ad account, you can't do anything on the ad account. So you're being closed out, but your ad is still running. If you check your credit card, they're probably still charging you. That's very important to have another admin there for you to fall back on and say that shit is happening. Can you go in and help me off the thing? So so this is really something that you have to practice. So start with a business manager. Have your friend or your partner or your whoever, right? This person do not need to be actively doing anything on the business manager, but it's just a backup that you can fall back on when anything happens. Because nowadays, seriously, account issues is crazy. So you really need to take care of that, right? So for this situation, Ken, what I would suggest is you try to go into the ads manager to see whether you can go in any way to off the thing. If not, there are two ways you can do this, right? If you check your credit card and they are still charging you, one way is just cancel the credit card. Just call it off so that they won't be able to charge your credit card anymore. So the ad would completely stop running after a couple of days or couple of weeks, something like that. Okay, so that's something that you have to do right now. So that's the fastest way. Alternatively, you can actually try to contact Facebook, but given your situation, your account is disabled, you probably won't be able to contact Facebook in any way. So I would say you can try both ways to see which one gets you to the goal faster. Okay, be very, very careful about your account management moving forward. It's very important to have everything controlled within a business manager, because with that, you can have backup admin to come in and do whatever for you. Like the other day, I saw another case, she was the only admin for the business manager and she got locked out and she couldn't actually get the page over to someone else that, she wanted to help her take care of the account moving forward. So everything can hit into a dead end very easily. So yeah, take good care of your account. All right, Ken, I hope that helps you. But yeah, anyway, if you need help, remember you can actually scan this QR code and we can jump on a 30-minute call to look at whatever situation you have right now to see what would be the best way to solve your problem. But check your credit card first to see whether are they still being, is it still being charged for Facebook advertising? If yes, you can actually either cancel the card or you can tell your bank to block any charges coming from Facebook. I think that could happen as well, but you have to check with your bank, see which one would be the more viable one. But of course, if you can actually talk to Facebook and say, hey, stop this for me, I'm no longer doing that. So that will be another way around as well. So yeah, okay, so that's that. And next one is we have a question from Brilliant Riders. So Brilliant is saying, what to do when both personal and ad accounts are permanently restricted due to failure to confirm that the decision was final? That's the dead end, exactly what I mean. Because when it comes to account disability, there are two ways. All right, it's either the better case would be your ad account got disabled, but your page is no issue, and basically, actually the best one is the page got disabled or got restricted from running ads and everything else was okay. But ad account is tricky because the ad account means everything else you can't do anymore. You can't add a new ad account. You can't add a new pixel. It's kind of like a dead end, especially when it comes to a business manager. But the worst case is actually having your personal account disabled. That's a bit difficult to get back. So when it comes to this kind of situation, my recommendation is the best way to do this is get someone else, listen very carefully, get someone else to borrow or lend you their Facebook profile. And this Facebook profile has to be an old one that has been around for a while, at least 3 to 5 years onwards. You do not create something new for this purpose. It's gonna be flagged and banned right away. No question asked. Okay, so get someone else to start, let's say somebody uses their daughter or whatnot, boyfriend and whatnot, right? So create a business manager with that profile and then claim the page over, all right? And then after that, you can either, you claim the page or you create a new page, it's up to you. So of course, create a ad account from there and you start running ads. You might probably very likely you will run into a restriction where Facebook will ask for your identity and all that. Just go through the steps. It's perfectly okay. And go through that, and everything should be able to be up and running again, because to be frank, you can still spend time like some of my students did. They spend a few months to fight with Facebook to get the account back, but business cannot stop, right? You have to keep running. So that's the fastest way that you can get something up and running again. So yeah, so that's how you do that. But nonetheless, if you have any questions, if you really want me to take a look at your situation, Brilliant, scan this QR code and we can spend half an hour together to look into that. Just buy me a coffee for this, okay? So that'll be great. And excuse me. And the next one, we have something from Mudasir Crypto. So Mudasir say, hi, Jason. It's Jason, by the way, my friend. Yeah, it's typo. So, okay. Do I give ad account for rent? And do you have such companies who give ads manager for rent for advertising? I'm sorry. First, I do not rent my ad account, nor my business manager for this purpose. And secondly, I do not have anyone in my contact that does this thing. I mean, I've heard people saying, they're renting accounts at the charge and all that. But yeah, I think you can actually go Google it and see whether you can find someone. But of course, try to do background check before you do anything because, well, it might harm your standing anyway. So just be very careful with that. But I've got students who are doing very well with a rented account. So yeah, that works to a certain extent. So, but no, I'm sorry, I don't have anything that can help you with that. But nonetheless, thanks for joining me. Yeah. And the next one is from Zihan as well. Okay, now Zihan is asking, why is the campaign going into learning phase? It says, you have to bring 50 sales in a week to get out of the learning phase, but the campaign is giving you 3 sales per day, struggling. What can you suggest? Okay, now the learning phase is really a phase where Facebook is actually learning, as in like the algorithm or the AI at the back end is actually learning from your data, from the results that you're getting to actually, like optimize and to help you get better results by matching better audience to you. So this is really a very important process, that the learning process is, actually, in order to get out of learning process, yes, you're right, you need to actually get 50 conversion, 50 conversion within 7 days to get out of learning. So, but here's the thing, all right? A lot of people are worried about learning. Here's the thing, it would not kill your campaign. As long as your campaign is getting you good result, like you said, you have consistent result with 3 sales or 5 sales every day, I mean, that's already pretty good. As long as you're making profit, continue running. Learning phase does not kill your campaign. It is completely okay, because if you are not comfortable to spend big, so you actually, let's say, you're only spending like $10 a day and that's your budget, nothing wrong with that. And yes, Facebook may need more time to learn, go through the learning, but it will not, as long as it doesn't affect your campaign, keep it going. Just keep your eyes shut on the learning. It doesn't kill your campaign. However, if you really want to get over this and say that, I don't want to see this anymore, let's bloody get me over this thing, I don't want to see learning anymore, I mean, that's a very easy way, which is you can, adjust your budget, spend a little bit more money, hopefully to help it get through the learning phase within the shorter period. So that's one way to do that. But like I say, nonetheless, learning doesn't kill your campaign. So do not worry too much about that. Okay, Zihan? So that's my quick answer to that. So learning is fine. Just go through that. Doesn't matter. Sooner or later, you'll be fine. As long as your result is okay. You're getting results at the cost that you're comfortable with. That's the most important thing at all. Okay? Now, back to the discussion just now about rented one. Jimmy, my friend, is saying advisable not to get a rented account. I would definitely agree to that as well, because, well, when you rent an account, you do not know, what the person who owns the account have done before, if, whether it's in a good standing and whatnot. And of course, there are some complications that may go into this. I would say, I totally agree with Jimmy. Try not to rent. Just create something on your own, and probably to borrow someone else's profile to create everything for you and all that. So everything will be okay. So do it that way. All right. Thanks, Jimmy, for popping in. Now let me go back to the very first question coming from Patrick, and let's go to that. Okay. Now, so yeah, let me actually bring up this thing. So the QR code is there, right? I wanted to have this QR code in the middle. So okay, hang on. Now, when I'm answering the questions, anyone of you who needs, like a personal, like one-on-one Q&A session with me, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a coffee, and we can actually spend half an hour together to go through any questions you have about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. And now we have this question coming from Patrick. Do you think social media marketing and advertising will be dominated by AI in the near future? Well, I'm always optimistic that AI is only going to help. Dominating wise, maybe to actually ease our burden in terms of content creation. But then again, the strategy formation and overall direction and the optimization will still come back to, intellectual thinking, which requires a brain behind that. Because sometimes if you just depend on AI, I mean, we have done programmatic advertising before. Now the campaign or the so-called the program or the AI behind would always optimize for better cost, but better cost doesn't mean better quality. So when it comes to the balance of it, human interference will become very important. But of course, yes, those normal advertising or so-called copywriting work or design work might be replaced by AI to a certain extent, but high level so-called mastermind will still be human, I would say, at least for the next, I don't know, foreseeable futures I have in mind. I still believe human is still a very important element when it comes to really moving forward towards the making decision based on, okay, now sometimes the cost is high, but if it gets me better result, I'm pretty cool with that. So that's something that we actually have to strike a balance. So I would say, no, it's not going to dominate per se as in like to kill everything, but it would actually rock the boat a little bit. Some work would definitely be greatly replaced by AI. So it's an evolution anyway. So I guess, well, better or worse, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah, but thanks, Patrick, for the question. Okay, now we have a question coming from Robel. So recently you reported a problem to Facebook. How can you check if they have responded to your questions? If they have responded to your questions, you should be able to see notification on Facebook. When you log into Facebook profile, they will actually have a response to that. But you can always Google and find Facebook account quality. There's this place called Facebook account quality. That will bring you to a place where Facebook will show you all the issues that you have with your either personal account, your ad account, or whatever. And of course, if there are certain outstanding issues or certain tasks you need to do, they'll always be there. So look for account quality. Just Google account quality, Facebook account quality, and you'll be able to go to the place very easily. Okay, now that's that. And next question is coming from Ascent3A. Anyway, so when setting up Facebook campaign, should you make thumbnail for Instagram or thumbnail only for Facebook? Well, if you have the bandwidth, why not, right? Because it's about optimizing for each platform. So if your thumbnail is optimized for Facebook and it works well on Instagram, which you can actually preview when you're setting up your campaign, well, it's perfect. You can, just make sure that it doesn't look ugly or cut off or truncated or whatever, just to make sure that you are actually being presented in the best way on each platform or each placement when you're setting up the Facebook ads campaign. So that's what I think. Okay, thanks for the question. And so Jimmy was chipping in and saying that one of the way to get out of learning is to go broad. Don't go for specific keyword, use general keyword. I mean, that's definitely one way as well. Basically, going broad would actually help you reach more people, but of course, you still have to observe whether the quality is still, within your acceptable range or not. Because sometimes, if we go too broad, I'm not saying that broad is no good. Broad is good. We advocate broad if you know already, like a lot of things are pretty stable already. But if you are still new to that, you probably have to observe. When it comes to going broad, you need to really watch the quality. But yes, that's one way. Thanks, Jimmy, for chipping in. In order to exit learning faster, going broad is one way. And Kevin was saying, AI help you to write, but optimizing Facebook ads is an art. Yeah, I like the way you put it, Kevin. Yes, I do agree. I do believe that, optimization is really an art, and it takes experience and the eye, and of course the, it's kind of like a sense that you know what to do at the right time. So the combination of these may not be that easily achievable by AI. So that's why I would say it's a combination. We work together, we work well with AI to leverage whatever they're giving us to ease our work. But overall, it's an evolution. Yeah. And Patrick said, thanks for the, thank you. Thanks for joining. So Asan is saying, do we have to make thumbnail for Instagram, only thumbnail for Facebook? I think I just answered the question. Okay, Asan. So just refer back to that. And Robel, you're welcome. So yeah, so that's how we do this, right? So today we are ending this a little bit earlier, but I think it's fine. But nonetheless, this is what we do. But any more questions, you guys can pop in right now. I'll do my best to cover, but that's what we do. All right, every Sunday night, we will actually go live. I will go live, okay, on my YouTube channel as well as whatever channel they are watching it right now, right? So whether it's on my Facebook page or there's a Facebook group, which is my private Facebook group, where you can actually join, and this way I share tips as well. But now, actually moving forward, I will be more active on Facebook page, Jason Gunn Facebook page, as well as my Instagram account as well. I do not actually go live on Instagram yet, but I might try moving forward one day. Anyway, so if you have any questions, like I say, just go to my YouTube channel, try to look for an answer. And if you can't find it, then just type your questions as a comment on any videos, and I'll pick them up, like what you have gone through just now, to answer your questions. So that's what we do, right? So Robert actually responded and said, your account quality, there is no account issue, doesn't mean you can anticipate no concerns with your account. Yes, if there is no issue, then you are actually pretty good, So moving forward, you should be able to do whatever you want, like running ads or your, creating page. Yeah, so just go through with that. Don't worry about that, all right? So yeah, all the best. And guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's Sunday night. It's second Sunday of 2023. And this is episode 106. I'll be continuing doing this. Of course, I enjoyed this half an hour. And hopefully I can actually see you joining me again next week. And if you have any questions, just pop on my YouTube channel and come back on the coming Sunday, on the following Sunday, to listen to my answers. All right, so thanks. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you so much, guys. Whoever who have participated, like Robel, Sen, and Patrick, Kevin, Jimmy, and everyone else. Thank you. And whoever is watching this, thank you for watching the replay. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Good night. Bye.